Okay, well, I guess we slowly get started. Again, I apologize for last time. I was stuck in traffic and I couldn't get out. And next time I try to send you all emails because I guess I was trying to use Twitter and Facebook, but I wasn't using the email. That would have been better. You have a question, yeah? The YouTube videos, right. I haven't put them online out of the simple reason because I had to get permission because one of you, yeah, there you are, was visible on one of the videotapes, and so naturally because of privacy issues, I had to ask for permission. And as soon as he said it's okay, so I'll put them online. So give me 1 or 2 days, and they should be on YouTube. Yeah. It's kind of funny you have to watch the whole video, right? It's kind of boring seeing yourself on video. It's like hearing your voice. The first time you hear your own voice, you think it's somebody else talking, and it just sounds so odd. Alrighty. Before I get started, any questions about where we are right now? We had this one question with the blog. Ideally, and that's what I want to do, some of the blog stuff here already. I don't want this just to be a lecture. I want this more to be interactive. And ideally, when it doesn't say optional, then you should try to do that exercise. Now, sometimes it's too much because you have too many other things to do, then you just stop. You should set yourself a time where you say, okay, I do this for 1 hour, and if I'm not finished in 1 hour, tough luck, I'm done, you know. So do a little time management, and you don't want to spend too much time on something that you don't consider being worthwhile. If you have other issues more important, then you need to prioritize, yeah. You know the Eisenhower principle? That's a very simple principle. Eisenhower, you know, he's a very famous guy, general in the Second World War. And he said there's, you know, you make a diagram like this, and the one is urgency, yeah. Is it urgent, or is it not urgent? And the other one, is it important? Yeah. So there's things that are not urgent and not important. They're down here. Are you going to do them? No, you never will do that. There are some guys that are urgent but not important. Well, it depends. You know, if you got time, you do it. If you don't have time, you don't. There's these other guys who are important but not urgent. We can do them tomorrow, right? And there's these guys who are urgent and important. Those are the guys we do right now. Yeah? So this is the Eisenhower principle. So whenever you have tasks, you know, just categorize them, and unless they are up here, don't do them. Okay? So you should do the same in terms of homework or studying or whatever. You know, use the Eisenhower principle, and it works quite well. That was a short divergence. Sorry about that. A brief review. Last time, what did we do? If you remember, we were cooking spaghetti, right? Spaghetti and marshmallow. It was very tasty. It was about groups and group dynamics. We learned a little bit about small groups, 5 or less, and those are very easy groups. They work very well. You can start right from the beginning. You don't have a lot of fighting. They're very efficient groups. However, quite often we have to deal with larger groups. There's just certain things that you need a certain number of people to do. I mean, I quoted the extreme where you try to build pyramids, right? If the Egyptians, they would have been 5 guys trying to build the pyramids, they wouldn't be finished now. They would be still building pyramids. So sometimes you need larger groups. And then there's certain things we learned. There's group dynamics. And that is the famous forming, storming, norming, and performing model. And while you go through your studies, especially in the 5th and 6th semester, you have these group projects. And one of the ideas you're supposed to learn there is to get through these stages, experience the stages, and learn to live with them. Morning. And there's ways to make things quicker, to minimize the problems that you have there. So I was trying to tell you some of the tricks here. For example, by looking at the different group members that a team has, and for which of these the team allows to happen, you know how far in these stages ahead the team is. Yeah. We saw a different model. This is from Raoul Schindler, and he was saying in his research that you can identify these different types of people that he called the alpha guys, the beta guys, the gamma guys, and then you got the omegas. Alpha is basically the leader, the boss. That's usually one person. Um, Gamma, that's the average guy. That's you and me. Okay. And Omega is, so to say, the anti-leader. So it's the opposite to the Alpha. And sometimes Alpha and Omega, depending on the task, actually switch roles. And finally, we got the betas. Sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't. And the betas, they are specialists. Yeah? And it's interesting, you should, while you do different group projects, you should try to identify, well, are you beta, are you an alpha, are you gamma, right? And try to see that. Some of these theories are quite interesting. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't work. Yeah? Be aware that they do not always work. Yeah, we did talk a little bit about team building, and we have to talk about this one more time, but let me just do the review for the Wikibooks. I am not sure if you're absolutely certain which group you are in and what you're supposed to do. So let's hold this for a moment. Yeah, we did the Marshmallow Challenge, so where was the winning team? We got at least one member, two members of the winning team. Excellent. Okay. These are other team activities. They were quite as well. Here is something which may be interesting for your Wikibook project right now, or it may be interesting again in your 5th and 6th semester project. There's some tools for collaboration. If you work in teams, right, you have groups, you have teams. And so Google Docs is a very good place to start, and where you can share information. Dropbox is another place, but Dropbox is basically a one-way thing. You just put files there to share. TeamLab is quite interesting, so in case you're working on a software project, you may want to take a look at TeamLab. And Zoho, this is like a whole bunch of internet applications, web applications, but they also have project management kind of tools. So if you're more into that kind of area, that may be worthwhile taking a look at. And if you haven't done this activity, it's probably a good idea to try that once, just to see what happens if two guys edit one document, the same line at the same time. Who gets first? Who is the winner and who is the loser? Finally, and we'll do this a little bit more in detail with the Wikibook, is working with wikis, and you see a lot of companies doing their documentation, doing the support in terms of wikis. Wikis are very easy to edit. They're living documents, which makes them so unique, and this is the wiki thing. Okay, so this is this activity, and there's some of the assignments. Right. Any questions to this collaboration thing we were doing? Any questions at all?